because a lot of these cars these days are basically they are the frame. The body is the frame.
Right.
So anytime you replace something, things like that, technically you have some frame damage, and you have to disclose that. And anytime you start looking at frame damage, that hurts the value even more so.
Absolutely. Hey everybody, welcome back to the airing of Grievances with Robert Grieve. I'm Eric Raymer, and we've got our friend here, Steve Sheehan.
Happy Saturday.
All right, Rob, what are we talking about today? I think I saw the title of what we're going to talk about, and I think it had something to do with the plummeting value of your car.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and we're bringing in the big guns today.
Yeah.
My dear friend Steve, thanks for being here.
Thanks for
Steve has been working at AAA, which that's the real AAA that we all know, AutoSource, selling vehicles for quite some time, lease, new, used, whatever it is you're looking for, financed, doesn't matter.
I've bought a couple of cars from him. You've bought several cars.
I've bought every car since I've come to Colorado through Steve.
There you go.
It's the most pleasant experience. Highly recommend. Steve, how long you been there?
Since 2009.
Wow. Okay.
2009. All right. I'm going to put a link to Steve's contact information in the description box below. And by the way, if you're brand new here, welcome. We'd love for you to click the subscribe button and the notification bell. If you're an old timer, thank you so much for being here. We're grateful for you as well. No matter who you are, no matter how long you're watching this video, please click the like button, the thumbs up. That really helps the algorithm.
Please.
And then ultimately, we ask you to engage with us in the comment section. Share this, because the information that we're about to give is going to be massively relevant to
Almost everybody.
the public, right? And then if you don't mind, if you are watching this during our premiere, which happens every Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. in the Mountain Standard Time, engage with us by clicking the little chat tab on your phone or on your computer, your tablet, and engage with us as we watch the very first airing, the premiere, at 9:30 every Saturday morning. That allows us to answer your questions and engage with you. All right. That's the housekeeping.
There we go. All right. So, Eric said that this is, important for a lot of people. It's not only if you have been involved in a wreck. We have Steve here, and sometimes you want to go buy a used car. You have to be careful who you're going to buy your used car from.
Sure, absolutely.
Because that car may have been wrecked. And one of the reasons Steve and I click so well together is because we have a moral compass that is solely around our guest and the guest experience and being honest and upfront. And so whether your car has been wrecked and you're going to lose value in that vehicle, you may also be looking for a used car. And if you're looking for a used car, then you want to make sure you're dealing with somebody reputable as well. And we'll get into that as we go through this. Mm-hmm. But Steve, I'm going to ask you right out of the box, because I'm on the collision side of things.
Right.
If a vehicle's been in an accident, and let's just say it's been repaired properly, and let's not even bring up Carfax at this point. Let's just talking about a raw vehicle being presented to you to trade it in so they can get another car. Mm-hmm. Has that vehicle lost value because it was damaged and fixed, even though it was fixed properly?
Yeah, and I will probably find that damage just because I've done it so long. I've actually been in the business since 1992, and I've been a used...
I wasn't even born then.
No, not me either.
I was a used car manager for 14 of it, so I worked at the dealership side of it, and now I brokered for all these years. And so I think I've seen both sides of the story. But yeah, I'm looking for things... because I don't want to get a bill of goods, okay?
Yep.
And at AAA, we disclose all damage that we find, if we can find it. So I'm looking for things like tape lines. I'm looking for things like off center panels, things like that. And that, yes.
Let me just ask a quick question. The tape line, that's where someone has repaired the car and then painted over, but there's a hard edge.
Right.
On the paint,
so instead of painting like inside the door frame and things
It's called
like that.
panel edge to panel edge.
Okay. Well, I didn't know the technical term. I call it tape line.
It's bad.
Yeah, it is bad because anybody can touch it and feel it.
Yeah.
And people get their car repaired and they think it's done right and things like that. If they don't have an eye for it, and I'm looking for stuff like dirt in the paint, mismatched colors, things like that. That's all going to affect the value of your car.
Okay, I'm going to back you up for a second because right now we're talking about a car that's been, let's just say,
right.
really well done.
Okay, really well done.
Okay, it's still going to lose value because it was repaired. Because
if I can find it.
Well, even if you can't find it,
if it's on the, well, you said no Carfax.
Well, we'll talk about the Carfax in a second. But if you take a damaged vehicle, because if you know it was damaged, let's just say they disclose it was damaged.
If they disclose it, yes.
You put a damaged vehicle right next to an identical vehicle that was never damaged. The one that was never damaged is always going to be worth more, and yours is going to be worth less.
Right, and a lot easier to sell.
Yeah,
because I can with, full. I'm not sure what the word is, but I don't have to disclose anything, so people will feel confident in that I'm selling them a car. It's probably a one owner, someone that's taking care of the car.
Mm-hmm.
That's what everybody wants when they buy a used car.
Mm-hmm.
They want that little old grandma or that someone that they know took care of that darn car.
Right.
And that car is always going to be worth more value because of it.
Okay.
A car that, and a lot of people will disclose because people at AAA are pretty, that's what I'm dealing with mostly. And that's why they're in AAA to begin with, is because they don't want that risk involved.
Well, you have a brand. I mean, you have a brand.
Right. And people don't want to, they'll tell us everything. A lot of times they'll tell us everything on the car that they've been doing. And a lot of, they'll say, well, Steve, I had the bumper replaced. I'll do that. I go, a lot of times they'll come up with the repair orders too, which, is a great thing for someone to buy a car.
Sure.
Now, that may help them not lose as much, but they're still going to lose some.
Right. Right. It's going to be less valuable.
It's going to be less valuable.
And if it's your insurance policy that you're using to pay for those repairs, very rarely it's actually unincluded. You can't get what we're talking about is diminished value.
Right.
All right. Your value is diminished on that vehicle because it's been in a wreck.
Right.
And it's been repaired. So even if it was done, really well.
Right.
Now the next step is what if the repairs are obvious? Does that make it even more, or actually the value less?
Right.
I mean, let's just say you go and you find those tape lines and
match
paint and
things like that.
Whatever, dirt in the paint.
I'm just like everybody else. I'm buying that car from them, and so that's going to put even more, doubt in my mind if the repair's not done properly. You know what? Do I have to repair that car? Do I have to wholesale that car? Is that going to meet our standards for a AAA certification?
Mm-hmm.
And I have to look at all that when I'm bidding the car and putting the value on the car.
And by the way, folks, if you want to take a look at the video that we just produced on a car that was improperly, dangerously, maybe even criminally repaired, I'll put a link to that right up here and have you take a look at that. It's shocking.
And I just looked at that car. They just showed me that car. And see, that is a car we would never sell. That car I would have to, sell to somebody else, wholesale it in that case. And the value in that car.
And then you give them nothing. Well, not nothing.
They get something, but they would not get anywhere near the value of that car, even with just a normal, I don't know if you can say half-ass repair on it.
You can say whatever you want.
I think you just did.
So I just think, when you're looking at that, you're looking at frame damage. You're looking at things because a lot of these cars these days are basically they are the frame. The body is the frame.
Right.
So anytime you replace something, things like that, technically you have some frame damage, and you have to disclose that. And anytime you start looking at frame damage, that hurts the value even more so.
Absolutely.
So
whether it's been fixed correctly or not.
Whether it's been fixed correctly or not, you still have to disclose it. I got a new body part. It's frame damage. on a unibody car. You know, on a body on frame, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, that gives you a little leeway.
Gives you a little leeway, but you know, it just leads to other questions. And anybody that's looking at a car wants to buy a great car because, you know, they're coming out with their hard-earned money, and we want to be able to sell cars that we can stand behind, and you know, in good conscience. And you know, a lot of it's brand related. It's AAA, but I wouldn't be working for AAA if I didn't believe that too.
Yes.
And this is the way I've
So
always
true.
done business. Every dealer I worked with did business the same way. So
That's right.
there are a few good guys out there.
Yes.
But I can sleep at night. Yeah, I never have to worry about something I said or did that wasn't actual and correct.
Yep.
So we got a car that was fixed properly, that's lost value. We got a car that was fixed, half-assed?
Half-assed.
I
Half-assed.
think that was the technical term.
That's worth even less, probably by a large percentage. Now, what if the car's been fixed with non-original parts, aftermarket parts that weren't made by the factory? Do you have any stories about experiences with that?
Well, in terms of, so I was part of the original Toyota certification back in 1995. I was working with John Elway. I was a used car manager with them. And so that's when those certified programs were just starting to come out, and they were coming up with different ways to make people feel good about their purchases. The other reason they did that, and whether you care or not, it doesn't have much to do with this, but they wanted to retain the value of their cars. So by doing a certification program, they were able to keep the value of their cars coming back in lease and trade and things like that. So, but in order to do that, you have to give somebody a program that they're going to believe in and things like that. Well, even back then, you could have 3 body part panels replaced. As long as they were Toyota parts and they were done to specification, the car could still certify. I think at that time it was about $5,000 worth of damage you could have on that car and still certify that car.
Provided it was done with all original parts.
It has to have original parts. It has to be done, you know, the right specs and things like that, which on a Toyota, the right specs are tight.
You
I
bet.
mean, it's probably one of the tightest. Them and Lexus are the tightest, probably gap-wise and things like that. I mean, we used to sell cars by putting a little marble in them, and they roll down, and it didn't move, and you know, that's the quality of the cars we were
Right.
selling at that particular point, and they're still there. But so if you can't certify that car, that's huge. So you got somebody coming in, you're looking at 2 Toyotas with the same miles, the same year. They kind of look the same, okay? But one has aftermarket parts on it and can't be certified, and the other one can. Well, to the consumer, they're going to have to pay more for that certified car, but they want that because they want a car that's been repaired properly, that comes
It's
with
got
a
the
warranty.
stamp of approval on it.
Yeah.
You may pay a little bit less, well, probably $2 or $3 grand less for the other certified car, but it's not coming with the same warranties. It's not coming with the same guarantees. They can't stand behind that car.
Yeah.
And it can be, depending on the price of the car, it can be even more difference between that. I mean, we're talking like if it's a truck, it's not that as much of it. It's $2 to $3 grand. But if it's a car, you may be looking at $4 or $5 grand difference between not being able to certify and being able to certify.
Wow.
So,
So it's
you've
peace of
looked at a
mind.
lot of cars. Have you ever gotten
thousands.
cars that they were just repaired so poorly that you couldn't even sell them on your lot? You had to wholesale them?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And what happens to the guest at that point? How much do they lose? I mean, they lose
Well, they
a
kind of.
significant value.
I mean, we're having that discussion with the customer. You know, we're showing them that this repair, this is how it was done, and this is how it should have been done.
Right.
So at that particular point, I
And
guess
this
it's
is
their
on
option.
this is on the used car dealer lot, not in the body shop.
No. This
This
is when
is on your lot.
If I'm finding something like that, I'm going to start asking questions.
You bet.
And I'm going to ask them if they have a repair order and things like that. You know, certain things like on hail repair, things like that. If the hood's been cut, or if the top of the roof, I guess would be in this case, if that's been chopped off and put back on, we're not touching that car. You know, so that's really going to affect the value of that car for that consumer. But we're going to explain to them why they're getting less. They're not going to be happy with it.
Yeah.
Okay, and I want to keep my clients happy because I like to see them again.
Sure.
And I
But the
don't
fact
like,
is, it's not worth
the
it.
fact is, I got to protect us and our
And who you sell it to.
dealership, and I got to protect the people I sell it to.
That's just it. You're protecting the people that you're selling it to, and that again
And it's worth what it's worth.
is why we're doing this series, is because we want to protect you, and knowledge is power. Information is power, and we need to give you a boost here.
So, what I really want to talk about today is if your insurance company is working with a shop and doing the very least expensive repair on the vehicle,
which is, by the way,
most of the time,
what they do, right?
then what they're really doing is saving themselves money because they're paying the shop less to not fix it properly.
Right.
And that's good for the insurance company. If it's your insurance company, you're not getting anything less off your deductible. You still have to pay your full deductible.
Right.
And you're taking the loss because Steve's going to find it.
That's right.
Right.
Steve's going to find it when you want to trade it in. We haven't even talked about what would happen in a lease situation. You know, because lease manufacturers are getting, really kind of picky about how you return the car when your lease is up. And there's some lease paperwork that says you have to use OEM parts or original equipment parts. But your insurance, and here comes the conflict. Your insurance policy says they can use aftermarket parts, and they're the ones paying. So you signed a thing with them that they can use aftermarket parts, and you signed a thing with these, with your vehicle lease company saying you have to use original parts. Now what do? We start with getting the right insurance policy to begin with.
Yeah, which means you start with the right insurance company. And again, as we've mentioned several times here on this series, there are insurance companies out there that will not give you the grief that the largest insurance company and many of the other insurance companies, usually the ones that you see advertising on television.
If they're on TV.
Yeah. There's one exception to that. But typically, if you're seeing people begging for business, it's because they're the ones who are cutting the corners and trying to make the most profit. We're talking about a multi-billion-dollar industry that it literally rides on the back of your shoulders at your expense.
Yep. So, that's really, the value of your vehicle is the value of your vehicle. It's your asset.
That's right.
You bought insurance to protect that asset. Will your insurance do what you expected it to do to begin with? And, if not, you're going to lose value. And value is money. You're going to lose money. So you wouldn't throw $2,000 away.
Much less $10,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're buying a very luxurious car or things like that, it affects you even more. I mean, if you spend $80,000 on a car and you have a repair that's not done right on a luxury car, a Lexus, a BMW, or Mercedes, we're talking you can have double-digit
That's right.
type, value devaluations on that car because that person that's buying that car, $80,000. Well, I mean, is a lot of money. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, to some, maybe not as much, but the
It's
people
a lot
I
to
deal
me.
with, it's a lot of money.
It's a lot to me.
So you get in a fender.
I haven't
bender.
bought any of those $80,000 cars from you yet.
Yeah, maybe combined. But yeah, someone buying that car, why would you not want your car done properly?
Yeah.
By a certified shop, especially that is going to do it the right way.
And here's the answer to that question. Because you just asked, why would you not have it done properly, right?
You probably don't
because
know
of
it's
the
not
insurance.
getting.
You don't know that it's not getting done
don't know.
properly, and you've been sold a bill of goods that says, if you come to our preferred shop, we'll get you in and out quickly at the least expensive repair possible, right?
Well, they don't tell you that part.
Well, no, if they do, they don't say it's least expensive to you, because to you, you're still paying your deductible. It's the same expense to you. The difference is it's the least expensive to them. And that's where they cut the corners, and you pay the price. And again, take a look at some of our past videos. You will see story after story after story of insurance companies cutting corners and you paying the price.
At your expense.
And sometimes at the expense of your life or those that are important to you.
So,
Yeah,
value is money.
it's the truth.
And, the choices that you make are important ones. When you buy that insurance policy, if you spend a lot of money and it's your dream car, don't insure it with some low-rent insurance company. Even if you think they're high rent, they may not be, because they're going to want to repair that thing the cheapest way possible you are going to pay for it again in the end. After paying your deductible and paying your premiums, you're going to pay Steve, or you're going to lose value
Right.
when you go to trade that thing in to go get a new vehicle.
Yeah, it is a lose situation all the way, just to save 15% or more. So be careful, folks, out there. Is there anything else we want to...
No, I want to thank you, Steve, for coming and joining us today. Your friendship is paramount to me. I appreciate you so much.
Absolutely. And folks, we appreciate you. Rob just earlier just said, let's start by making a good decision. Here's a great decision. Would you please share this? Just click the link and share this video out with your friends and your family. Again, I always say this is not an industry piece for the collision industry. This is for the people that you live next to. This is the people that you live with. This is for you. And the importance of this video, because nobody's telling this story.
We're here to tell the truth.
We're here to tell the truth. We're here to get the message out, and you are a key part to this. So if you've made it this far in the video, we ask two things, and neither of them cost you a second. Click the like button. Thank you. And then share this video with your social media outlets. Literally, copy and paste the link, go to Facebook, and pop it into your Facebook profile. And that's all we ask. And we're super grateful for you. On behalf of Robert Grieve and Steve Sheehan, myself, we want to say thank you for watching the airing of Grievances every Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. And we will see you again next Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
Thank you. Happy Saturday.